What's up, people? I'm DJ Pretty Boy. This is the Man Cave. Let's get into some hot takes. All right, so right here we got Lil Uzi Vert posing for a Marc Jacobs campaign. And my first thought about this is, what the fuck? Like, what am I looking at right here? If I let me see what the other slides are saying. Are there other slides? Uh huh. All right. Um, what I can say is I like the color coordination, the color palette in this. From an artistic point of view, I like it. It's cool, but the real I guess controversy here is just the way he's dressed. And you know what? There's been this narrative of there's an agenda to emasculate the the traditional sense of what a man is, especially the black man. Now, before I wasn't really too keen to just jump on that bandwagon, but now I'm really starting to see. I feel like there's something to it, and I actually do have a theory about this now. Now, when it comes to the emasculating the black man, like targeting the black man specifically, I'm not sure if I'm ready to subscribe to that. However, this optic is not helping, but I'm not ready still to go with that because of my theory. Let me break down my theory. First of all, what Uzi's wearing, let's be honest, it seems effeminate as hell. It is mad zesty, bro. Like, look at what you're wearing. Look at how you wearing it, and look at how you posing. Look at this. Look at the footwear, man. Like, let's be honest. We can easily just imagine a woman in this getup, and it would seem more fitting, for lack of a better word. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, right? Because one can argue it's just garments, whatever, and then we get into the whole argument of gender being a social construct, which to some degree it is. But where people get it mixed up is that gender um, is the social interpretation of the sexes. Biologically, there's a male and a female, or at least we call it that, male, female. They have two separate types of reproductive organs, blah blah blah. We don't need to go into a whole biology lesson right now. And the gender is the social construct, or what the way it's accepted right now, anyway, um, is is the social construct of how a how the male and the female should act beyond their obvious biological functions. And part of that is what kind of clothes they wear. Because remember, blue was a color for boys and pink is a color for girls. So we associate blue with uh, the male gender. We associate pink with the female gender. I don't want to go get into too deep into it, but this is the foundation I want to set, right? Now, because we have these things, as arbitrary as they can be, we can't deny that they're symbolic. There's meaning to some of the images that we see. Otherwise, people wouldn't have a funny reaction to, say, the Confederate flag. For people who know about any of American history, it's just a flag. One could argue, it just got a bunch of stupid colors or whatever on it. There's no actual explicit language or offensive actual explicit imagery on it, but we know what the flag symbolizes, or what it symbolizes to some people. It'll cause offense. So let's not deny or overlook or disregard symbolism. This is where uh, clothing and fashion and all of that comes into play. There's certain things that just symbolize femininity, and this right here, it looks very much like it. So it's clear that there's the effeminate man image that's being portrayed in the fashion industry, pretty much throughout the media industry. The LGBTQ community has a very strong presence. And I know I left off some letters because, real talk, to that community, firstly, let me just say I don't got no beef with that community. I don't want no smoke with that community. I respect whatever people want to do with their lives. It's their lives. Whatever letters I left off, I don't mean to say that you are insignificant or whatever. It's a lot of letters, bro. It's a lot of letters. Like, I don't even understand why when we get to T, why do we even have to go past that? That's I don't even. It starts to get confusing from there, and maybe that's a video for another day. So for all intents and purposes, let's just call it the rainbow community. That I think that makes it so much simpler, and I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. Come on, going back to symbolism, the rainbow has been a symbol of that community. And let me please reiterate, I have no problem with that community. Please. There's certain things maybe I don't agree with, but we could hash it out later. I even DJ in a gay club. I mean, it's a mixed club now, but it's it's still a place where the LGBT community is highlighted. I digress. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of members of that community in influential positions in the fashion and media industries. We all know the media industry affects the social climate. So if I was someone of particular beliefs and I had a influential position in the media industry, of course, I would contribute to changing and molding the social climate to something that aligns more with my own values and my own lifestyle. And that's what I think is happening. I'm not ready yet to say there's some malicious agenda, but what I will say is I think those people, part of the rainbow community, they have the power to contribute to changing social perception, narratives, social culture to some degree, the pop culture. So why not do it? Why not create a space or create an environment that aligns more with who I am? That's not much different from people with religious values who have the power to change social climate. That's what they do. Back in the day, um, that was something we saw with Christianity. The Christian faith was pushed into everything. And there was an attempt, and there still is to this day, to mold and ingrain Christianity into everyday life. And it is done through the media as well. So I think we're seeing the same thing happen with the LGBT community. There are people there in that community. They have the power to, so they're going to try to mold the world to fit them. And that's what I think is happening right now. How this optic plays into it for me is that Uzi's not even openly a member of that community. And that's what makes it touch and go. Now, if Uzi was a gay man, would just be like, yo, there goes some gay dudes doing some gay things. You feel me? But now this is, as far as we're all aware, this is a straight guy, a heterosexual guy, but still made to look like what we would perceive to be a gay man or someone of that community. So if he's not gay, that's a different way of saying you don't have to be gay to still look like this. You don't have to be gay to still be effeminate. Is where I'm getting at here, and that's what it seems. That's what this seems to be to me. If y'all think I'm wrong, of course, jump in the comments and let me know. I think this is an important discussion to have because while all of this is going on, heterosexual men who have certain traditional masculine tropes, the identity of what it is to be masculine is kind of shaky now. Like, what does that even mean? We have younger men questioning that, and we have older men. Is the whole thing is getting lost in the sauce right now. Quote unquote masculine heterosexual men are finding themselves uh being made the enemy to some degree, or they're feeling like they're being made the enemy. It gets deeper when you start talking about the patriarchy and all of this and that, but it's easy to make the quote unquote masculine heterosexual man the enemy of society. He's the enemy to everyone. He causes all the problems. His masculinity is outdated. And I think that's dangerous. And I think there needs to be a stronghold for what masculinity is, like to be a manly man. without being misogynistic and chauvinist and sexist and all the other buzzwords that they want to throw. I think there's a happy medium. There is a healthy medium. But that in itself is a video for another day. This Uzi stuff, because Uzi himself is not, or he doesn't profess to be a member of that community, the optics look weird. Even the way he's posing looks weird. When I say weird, I mean weird in the sense that you're not a gay man, but you're looking like a gay man. But now these things are starting to put into question, well, why can't a masculine man dress like this? And what's wrong with having a tote bag and these funky ass boots? And it starts becoming very, what's the word? Androgynous? Is that what it is? Now, after I say all of that, I got some questions still. What is the what does Uzi feel about this? Or but Uzi has been in some interesting attire before this anyway. Is it just clothes to him? Is it just cool? Is it I want attention, so I'm making as much noise as I can with what I wear? What is Uzi's intentions with this, with participating in this photo shoot, and what is Marc Jacob actually trying to do, or the people behind Marc Jacob? What is the point here? What is the intention? You know what I'm saying? I would like to know what they are actually trying to do, and but as far as the theory I just gave y'all, I think that's what it really is. I think that's what it is people in the rainbow community. They have influence. They're trying to shape and mold the world to fit them, to or at least to make it conducive for them, or make it more comfortable for them. One thing I want to say before I do end this video, though, is that people from that community shouldn't feel ostracized in this society, in this world. They have a right to live and to civil liberties just like everyone else. They have the right to pursue happiness. Everyone in this world does. As long as it's not at the expense of, putting someone else's life and livelihood in jeopardy, for your own gain. But it just gets tricky as to, everyone has different ideas of what their happiness is. And, when you get into the world forum with people who have a lot of different ideas, sometimes these ideas clash. And there has to be some sort of a compromise because we share the world with one another. It's not like there's like a gay hemisphere and a straight hemisphere, or portion of the world that we live in. So we all just kind of have to learn how to just live together on this planet. As I say that, there's like two wars going on. Let's look at some comments real quick. Great gowns, beautiful. I'm assuming that should be gowns too. Please take me back to the 90s and early 2000s when men behaved like men. You see, this kind of echoes something I was saying, like, you know, the definition of what it is to be a man, and not just a man in a vacuum, not the idea in a vacuum, but what that means as part of the social structure when it comes to family, when it comes to gender roles. Unfortunately, that's a bigger discussion because some people don't even believe in gender roles. But I think it's healthy to have gender roles, but things because we're different for a reason, because it's in our differences that we form a strong family unit. Is because of the differences in our strengths and weaknesses that make us be able to go together and form a strong family unit, a strong community. Anyway, JT's baby mother is wild, and that's funny. You see, that comment lends to the fact that this seems very effeminate. JT is one half of the City Girls, and this is Uzi's girlfriend. So to call Uzi JT's baby mother, cat was into one lie. See, they turning these young men into ladies one heel at a time. It just come out already, but and you see, once again, it's associated with being, homosexual or gay or whatever. Um, what is wrong with our men today? It goes back to this, what is a man, and why we need to, instead of this blurring of genders, we need to have definitive women and men attributes, male and female attributes and behaviors. Anyway, I think this is a conversation to be had. Hop in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, or maybe I can make a follow-up video to follow this agenda. In fact, I'm all about masculinity and male empowerment, but healthy male empowerment. And I think men play a vital role in this society. Manly men play a vital role in this society. Not to say that there shouldn't exist, gay men, and women shouldn't, women aren't like lesser of value. I don't want to get into all of that. But anyway, I think I rambled on enough.